absolute sweaty mess right now. It is only the end of May, and already it feels like summer is here in full force. And I love the summer. I love like the sun. I love sitting out on patios. I love going for long walks amidst the wildflowers and picking wildflowers like I did today. This like nice little bouquet. I love all of that, but I can't deal with the heat. The heat is too much for me, especially now that I have issues with like chronic migraines and chronic pain. The heat really triggers that a lot for me and brings that on. So yeah, it is too hot. It's too hot. It's like 30 degrees and it's too hot. Anyways, if you are new here, hello, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a religious studies PhD student documenting some of what this academic journey is like as someone with ADHD and chronic pain. So, hi. I've not been doing very great at keeping up with the vlogging lately. I have been like vlogging a bit here and there, but I've never gotten around to like actually editing any of it. And I don't know if any of that footage is ever going to see the light of day. We'll see. I don't know. So I don't know if this footage is going to see the light of day, honestly. I do have a little bit more time now that classes have ended for the semester. I'm no longer TAing. I am pretty much spending this summer just like doing research for my dissertation and various things associated with that, and doing some volunteer work as well with one of the groups, the communities that I am working with, studying ethnographically for my dissertation. I have a bit more free time, but like also not really at the same time because there's kind of a decent amount of work involved with that. Anyway, today is Wednesday. It is like almost 4 o'clock now, and I have not really got anything productive done because I have just been going from appointment to appointment and like walking there between appointments, which has been really nice because it's such a beautiful day. But I'm also just like so hot and sweaty and tired now after all of that. I'm gonna go take a cold shower, which I feel like I really need right now. And then I'm gonna get some work done because I need to do something today. I can't just spend like the whole day frolicking in fields of wildflowers, as lovely as that sounds. Alrighty, so I am all showered and comfy and ready to work for the next couple days, and definitely for this evening. Most of my like energy and focus is going to be going to working on a grant proposal for this organization that I'm volunteering with. And I talked about it a bit in one of my previous vlogs. I don't remember if it was the last one or not, but I am kind of shifting the focus of my ethnographic research for my dissertation to be largely focused on this intentional community that's nearby and kind of what they're doing around being stewards of the land, taking care of the land, living intentionally, and really how they're trying to live more collectively, collaboratively with each other and with the environment as well. And this intentional community, they're in the process of really developing into what's called a community land trust, or a CLT. And a CLT is a nonprofit organization that basically purchases land within the community to hold in trust and in perpetuity for that community. So in taking the land out of like this regular market for renting and buying housing, it is kept basically for like an infinite or undescribed amount of time for the community, and like trying to create like better housing solutions basically. And it's very much about decommodifying and decolonizing the land, because there is a concerted effort to shift away from these like traditional European Western models of housing that are really capitalistic, that really just benefit landlords and the wealthy, and really do not benefit the community and the people at all. Ontario, like a lot of places, is in the midst of a housing crisis right now. The rent prices and like buying prices for houses are absolutely astronomical, and a lot of people are really struggling to live. And the community land trust model is really about seeing like housing as a basic right that all human beings should have, rather than seeing it as something that you can maybe have if you can afford it. So as this organization that I'm working with is moving towards becoming this CLT and realizing their kind of vision for the community and creating more like affordable housing and everything that goes with that, they need to be able to purchase these properties, and for that they need funding. And so that is why I am helping them with this grant writing process, and yeah, just trying to like help them get some of the funding that they need in order to really make this a reality. And this volunteer work that I'm doing with the community is kind of overlapping with and like adjacent to my dissertation, even though it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with like religion and spirituality specifically. There's still like that community ethos that's like at the center of this. And yeah, a lot of the values that they have, I think, align with things that I'm really interested in, especially, caring for the land and being stewards of the land and things like that. So I think that this is going to be hopefully like valuable for my dissertation project as well. And since it is like ethnographic research, often ethnographers will, when they're working with like an organization, volunteer for or work for that organization while they're doing their research. So this is something that I have decided to do. And even if it isn't like super helpful for my dissertation, it's still like a fantastic thing that this group is doing. And I'm just like excited to be a part of it and happy to help. Plus, also, this grant that I'm working on right now will hopefully, if it gets approved, allow for me to get paid a little bit to help work on this project and do some of the research involved. So, fingers crossed. Anyway, that was my kind of like long-winded explanation of like what I'm doing, what I have been doing for the past couple months, and what I'm going to be continuing to work on a lot this summer. So it is getting late though, so I am going to jump into this and get hopefully a decent amount of work done on this grant this evening before I run out of steam. Also, can we just like take a second to appreciate this shirt? I think it's fantastic. I love it. Anyway, focus, work. Let's get this done. Waiting for me to feed them their dinner. Well, for the past few hours now, I've been pretty focused, almost like hyper focused on this grant proposal. Usually my mind is like pretty scattered all over the place. Got like a million different tabs open in my brain, but today I've actually been doing pretty good work on this and making some good headway on this proposal. There is definitely some deadline pressure that is associated with this because this grant proposal is due at the end of the month, which is pretty soon. And also the fact that like there are other people working on it besides just me is like holding me accountable to get stuff done, which is good. But also, all of this is really, really new to me. Like, I am being kind of thrown into a world of like housing, finance, economics, like all sorts of things, urban planning, stuff that like I have no experience with and like knew nothing about really before kind of starting on this project. And on the one hand, it's been like kind of overwhelming and a lot. I'm very much just like learning as I go with things. But it's also been like exciting, I think, for my ADHD brain. I think that like the novelty of it is just something that I am like really enjoying right now. So, yeah, even though like writing a grant proposal is kind of tedious and not really fun necessarily, I am kind of enjoying it. So, this is good. I like this. I hope that I can keep this kind of productivity and workflow going into tomorrow as well. And then wouldn't it be nice if that productivity also like overflowed into things more specifically related to my PhD and dissertation work? That would be awesome if that could happen. Anyways, my cats are getting kind of angry with me and reminding me that it is past their dinner time, so I'm going to go feed them and also feed myself. And I don't know if I'm going to work on this more tonight. Maybe we'll see how I feel, but I'm happy with the progress I've made today.
I have a meeting soon, but I'm really struggling to get out of bed today. It's just one of those mornings.
Some mornings I wake up with just like widespread pain, and unfortunately, this is one of those mornings. I am not feeling great. Got a bit of a migraine going already, as well as just like neck and back pain. And I feel like I have not slept at all, even though I got like at least 7 hours of sleep, but it does not feel like that. I'm up early for a meeting. Not really early. I woke up at like 9. The meeting's at 10. But 9 is like kind of early for me. I am not a morning person by any means, and I've been trying to wake up earlier a little bit lately, but I prefer to sleep like to 9:30, 10 if I can, which is not great, but it's where I'm at. I think I need to get some new sunscreen because I think this one is expired, but it is all that I have. So the meeting that I have this morning is again with the CLT organization that I am volunteering with, and it's just a meeting with a group at the university, at one of the universities, who help like nonprofit organizations or like research groups make like multimedia videos and like other kind of things that they can use to kind of tell their stories and use to like engage people and like get them interested in like their cause, whatever it may be. They're very like committed to like social justice and activism, and basically just like helping organizations and people, especially like marginalized people, have their voices heard. So we're hoping to be able to work with them to make some multimedia expressions that we can use like on the website, on social media, and just like get people engaged with what the CLT is doing. We're hoping that if we get the funding from this grant, then they will be able to put on a workshop for us to teach us how to make various kinds of like digital and non-digital kind of like artistic expressions and merge like art and social and environmental justice. So yes, I am looking forward to this. Hope that the workshop is going to happen because yeah, it's just something that I would love like to take on a personal level too. So I'm going to finish getting ready and then jump on the Zoom call. Hello. Hi. It's nice to meet you. So I guess like to weave this into my own research a bit, I'm very interested in like telling the story of community and like the place and what kind of emerges from that. Also thinking about like the spirit of the land and how that can be kind of maybe intertwined into the story. And then also thinking too about how storytelling is not just like a human process, but it's also collaborative with the non-human as well. Yeah, like multi-species storytelling. Yeah, yeah. If that's like, yeah, I don't know if that's like something that would be possible or like something that we could kind of bring into this, but that's kind of like where my own research interests are too with that. So that was a really great meeting. I'm feeling super excited and invigorated for this work that we will hopefully be doing with this group. They're going to be helping us with like storytelling and telling the story of like this intentional community and the CLT project and all the sort of various pieces that are associated with that. And it also really opens up some cool potential avenues for my dissertation research as well. And also thinking about like how I might want to bring like multimedia elements into my dissertation project and like not just having it be a written project, but also including like film and documentary and like spoken word things maybe and more like artistic elements. There is some potential here for me to possibly get like a research grant to work more closely with this group if that is something that I want to like really bring into my dissertation more. I don't know if this is something that like my supervisor or my committee would necessarily be on board with. I don't see why they wouldn't be. Like it's such a cool thing and like it is like theoretically and methodologically very rich. So I think it would be really interesting to bring this into my dissertation stuff. But we'll see. I'm very excited about like the potentials that this like opens up though. Anyway, I have like a million emails that I need to reply to, so I'm gonna do that now, and then I'm gonna continue to work on the grant proposal for a little bit. And yeah, I don't want to spend like all of today inside. It is a gorgeous day out, and I want to go on a walk, maybe do some like reading and work in the park if I can. It's not like oppressively hot today, so it'd be nice to just yeah, spend some time outside. So I'm gonna reply to these emails, and then we'll see where to go from there.
You're gonna be my personal bartender?
Well, cheers.
Well, so far this afternoon is not really going to plan. My migraine got a lot worse, so I had to kind of step away from the stuff that I was working on because my brain feels like mush and nothing that I was writing was really making sense. I took some medication, so I'm just kind of waiting now for it to kick in, and hopefully I'll be able to get back to it after a bit of a break. I have a lot of things on my to-do list for this week, a lot of things that like I wanted to do today, and unfortunately having something like an issue like wow, having dealing with an issue like chronic migraines or chronic pain, it just sometimes means that you can't do things according to plan. And sometimes you just gotta take a break and eat some ramen and watch some shitty reality TV, which is what I'm doing now while I'm waiting for this medication to kick in. I have been trying to make an effort to like eat a bit healthier lately, but ramen is like the ultimate comfort food for me. And when I am feeling awful like this, I just crave something like ramen or McDonald's fries or something that is really salty and greasy and not good for me. I'm pairing that with also just kind of watching Vanderpump Rules. My current hyperfixation is rewatching all of the old seasons of Vanderpump Rules. I am obsessed. It is peak, like, trashy, messy reality TV, and I am so here for it. It is a great distraction from my own reality, and yeah, I love it.
Entire time, I would never jack with a 10-foot pole. Hands on my life, sausage slice. You banged him! I never banged Jack. Yes, I did have sex with him one time.
All right, so it is a couple hours later now. I actually took a bit of a nap. I fell asleep while watching Vanderpump Rules, which is, I don't know how I do that. I often fall asleep while the show is on, which is kind of wild because there's a lot of screaming and yelling in it, so I don't really know how I nap through that, but I did. I feel slightly better now, a little bit better. Not great still, but I am going to rally and pull myself together so that I can get as much work done on this grant as possible tonight. I really want to have most of my part done by the weekend, so we're really going to try to get this done. I made myself a matcha tea latte. It's like a chai matcha latte, which is pretty good. I wanted to make it iced, but then I realized that we don't actually have any ice cubes right now, so I had to make some. And yeah, my next one will be iced. Just out on a little walk now. I thought that I should get out of the house and move my body a little bit because I've not been having luck with actually getting any grant writing done. I've been very distracted and foggy brained, so hopefully getting outside a bit will help.
If only I could finish something, run straight through to the end. Close the chapter, dignified. Damn, girl, you did it again. But will it ever be enough when I'm bent on trying to keep it tough? Will I ever settle down? Happy with the here and now. When will it ever be enough? Ever be enough? Ever be enough? If only I could build a tower, pierce right through the clouds. Saxophones at every hour. Who hasn't heard of me now? Then will I have had enough of trying to keep myself real tough? Will I ever settle down, steady even when it gets loud?
I realize that it is almost 7 o'clock and I have not spoken to the camera all day, so hello. I've mostly just been working on this grant proposal all day. It is taking me a really long time to write anything for this. I have spent like the last solid 3-4 hours working on one section of the grant proposal, and all I have to show for it is one full page of text. That's it. That is all I've managed to get out. And I think that I am especially slow at writing this because it's a whole new world for me. It's a whole new language that I have to learn associated with affordable housing development and community-led initiatives that are associated with that. That's not something that I really knew about going into this. So I am very much learning as I go. And yeah, it's a slow process, but it is still interesting. I have had to turn to ChatGPT a few times actually, just to ask it questions what kind of stuff is supposed to go in a strategic plan or budget proposal, or what is regenerative economics, just things that I need some background kind of clarification on to help me write this. I know that I am also slow at writing this because of my weird and chaotic writing style and the way that I do things. I am someone who 100% prefers writing on paper and physically as opposed to on a computer. I just find that for me, my thoughts flow so much easier when I am using pen and paper as opposed to typing on the computer. And this slows down the process a lot, especially when it is something that I am writing and rewriting over and over again, because I feel like I just can't get the wording right. So what I've been doing is I have been putting down like my initial thoughts and everything, and like kind of my first initial draft of things in this notebook, writing it all out. And then I've been switching to this notebook and rewriting it all out in here. And then sometimes, if I feel like I'm struggling or like having a special difficulty with any particular paragraph or section, I will then return to this notebook again and rewrite it out here again by hand over and over. And then finally, eventually, I will put that into the laptop, type it up on the computer. And this is just my process. This is my writing process for a lot of things, especially whenever I am writing like a paper or a section of a paper that is especially difficult. I'm finding it especially hard to like articulate myself and actually say what I want to say. I will use this method of writing and rewriting, because in each like iteration and each like shift from notebook to laptop, editing happens in that process, and it becomes more and more like refined as I do that. I don't really like editing in like a Word document. Like I will do that at the end, at the very end, but most of my editing happens when I am shifting from one medium to another. So that is my chaotic writing process that I've been using for this. It is not very time efficient at all, but this is just how my brain works. This is what my weird brain likes when it comes to writing. Anyway, I did not realize how late it was getting, so I'm going to take a break from this. I'm going to do some dishes, do some cleaning, make some dinner, take a shower, and then return to this. Since my partner is not home for dinner tonight, I think that I am just going to have a very nutritious meal of some chicken nuggets and whatever else I can find in here.
With partner? I'm good with having 2 dogs and a boyfriend at home for now.
Yes, I'm staying single this year.
Okay. Lala, this was a big year for you. You know, you stepped out publicly with your man. You brought him around the group. What's your goal for?
Had a fantastic massage therapy appointment today. It was really good. I had to book it with a different massage therapist from the one that I normally go see, because he didn't have any availability this week. But yeah, it was really good. He used like a different technique than I'm used to, and I feel like he really helped to work out some of the very tense knots in my back. So that was really good.
Hello. It is Wednesday today of the next week since I last checked in, so we have jumped forward in time a little bit, but I just got home from a massage therapy appointment that I had that was very much needed. And then afterwards, I had a gift card for just like a nearby cafe that I really like, so I went there and just did a bit of work on this grant proposal still. Yes, we are still working on this grant proposal. We intended to have it done like yesterday, and we actually mostly had it done yesterday, and we went to go submit it in the application portal, and we found out that there were actually a few other parts of this proposal that we had not done. We just kind of like overlooked them completely, which is unfortunate. So there is still some more work to be done. So I have been working on some of that. There is a lot of like different pieces involved in applying for this grant, including like a very concrete budget that we have to have. Obviously, I feel like that's usually part of any grant proposal, but yeah, just like a bunch of other things that we are still working on. So that's going to be what I'm doing for like the rest of the evening pretty much is just working on that. I am hoping that I will be able to get most of it done tonight so that I can just kind of work on like editing it and fine tuning it more tomorrow. So I've been working away on this grant. I've been working on specifically outlining the stated objectives and outcomes. So, like the things that we are going to concretely produce with the funding from this grant if we get it. And I've been typing it all up in the Google Doc that we have going that we're all kind of contributing to. And then I go back to like the grant portal page and I realize that there is a 100-word like maximum limit for this section, and I have been going way over that. So I have just been wasting a lot of my time and energy writing these long kind of rambling things for this that I really did not need to write. So that sucks, and is another testament to the fact that I really need to get better at reading instructions clearly and like actually making sure that I know what I need to be doing before I just like barrel ahead and do it. So yeah, there's that. Turns out that it is actually much more difficult for me to write something that is 100 words versus like 500 or 800 words. I am really struggling to condense everything into like a limited space. Hello and happy Friday again. We are finally done with this grant proposal. Everything is written, it's done, it's ready to be submitted, but we have not submitted it yet because we're just waiting on a reference letter that someone has to give us as a part of this application, and we have not received that yet. So I'm really hoping that we get that soon because the proposal is due tonight. Like that's a hard deadline for it, and it would really suck if we put all this work into it and then we couldn't actually submit it because we're missing this piece. Granted, we did ask for reference letters pretty late, like earlier this week, I think. So yeah, we definitely should have done that before, but we kind of didn't realize that was part of the application. So we'll see. Hopefully it's all good. I spent like the whole day yesterday just hyper fixated on finishing the grant proposal, doing a lot of writing for that, and it feels good to be like done with that, but I won't feel relief until it's like actually submitted. Anyway, now that that's done, I realized that I've been kind of like neglecting self-care and like taking care of my body for like the past little while I've been working on this, as it's something that tends to happen for me when I'm working on like any project, especially if there's like an upcoming deadline. So today I am actually going to be going to the gym for the first time in like a really long time. I go to the gym like every now and then for like a yoga class or something, but it's been a really long time since I've actually gone to the gym to like work out. And I was doing strength training. Like I was really getting into that last summer. I was really enjoying it, but I stopped doing that when I started getting chronic migraines because I was just afraid that working out in any capacity would like trigger a migraine, and also like going to the gym and having that harsh lighting and all these sounds and the music playing, smells, all of these like sensory things going on that I'm terrified that it's gonna trigger a migraine because I can't handle anything these days. Like anything that's too much sensory input is hard for me. So I'm gonna go see how it goes. I'm gonna be really like gentle and kind to myself and take it pretty easy, but I just wanna give it a try again and see if I can get back into some kind of strength training. So here are some things that I'm packing in my gym bag in order to hopefully prevent or like mitigate a migraine. I have my tinted glasses, which will hopefully help with the lighting if it's too harsh. I have some earplugs. These are like the quiet loop earplugs. And I have a hydration supplement and my rescue meds. So hopefully that helps. I'm back home from the gym now. It was a pretty good workout, I'll say. I think that for someone who hasn't worked out in like 9 months, it was decent. I did start to feel like a little bit off at one point, a bit migrainey, so I did have to cut it a bit short, which is fine. I did like a 45-minute workout instead of an hour, and I'm feeling fine now. I think I'm just gonna need to like ease myself into it a bit more. On the way back home, I stopped at a Sally's beauty supply store. So I think before I take a shower and wash my hair, I'm going to try to diet myself a little bit because my roots are like really starting to show, and the copper is really starting to fade. So I got this L'Oreal High Color Reds for Dark Hair in Sizzling Copper. Never used this brand before. I've never done permanent hair color myself either, I don't think. So we'll see how this goes. I really don't know. This is suspiciously orange. I don't know if this is what it's supposed to look like or if I use too much developer or something. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but we'll see. I know that when you bleach your hair, you're supposed to do the roots last, but I think when you color your hair that's already colored, you're supposed to do the roots first. So, how do I do that? I guess I should section my hair? Yeah, I don't know. Probably do better than that. Look at this sectioning. Like, how could it be any more perfect? So I read the package again, and it says that you're supposed to do the mids and ends first and then the roots and process that for like 10 minutes at the end. So good thing I read that because I was going to do the roots first. I feel like it's harder to do roots last though. I'm finding it kind of difficult to tell where my roots actually begin and where I should be like putting this up until. And hopefully it works out. So I just looked at the time and I realized that it is 6 o'clock now, which I don't know where the day has gone, but we still haven't got the reference letter that we need for this grant proposal application. We're still waiting on that, which is kind of scary because I'm concerned that we might not get this in time and then that all of this work that we've been doing will just be like for nothing. That would really suck. So I really hope we get anything, something that we can submit soon before the deadline at midnight. It is kind of giving me flashbacks to when I was in the 4th year of my undergrad and I was in the process of applying for like a really big scholarship for my master's program that I put a lot of work into, like months of work into, and people were telling me like, oh, you're like a shoo-in for this, like you would definitely get it. Not that I necessarily would, but you know, I had like an actual chance at getting this like pretty prestigious scholarship. And I had to have reference letters for it. And one of the profs that I asked him like a month or two ahead of the deadline to give me a reference letter for it, and he agreed to. And then it was like a week before the application for the scholarship was due, and he still hadn't given me anything. So I kept reminding him and being like, hey, there's only like a week left. Like, can you please hurry up and do this? In like a nicer way, obviously. And then it was the day before the deadline, or the day of the deadline, and I was like, can you please like write something for me and upload it, because if I don't have this in by midnight, I can't send in my application. They won't accept it late, no matter what. And he said he was going to, and then he didn't. He did not submit it in time. He was still working on it like the next day when it was too late. And yeah, that was crushing. That was absolutely crushing. I remember that I actually like broke down crying in his office like a week later because I was just so upset that all of that work had been for nothing. So yeah, this is not quite as intense as that application process was, but it still makes me really nervous whenever I have to like wait on somebody for a reference letter or something. Okay, so I have most of my hair covered now, and I just have to wait like 20 minutes and do the roots. I lost track of time and left it on my roots for too long, and now I have hot roots, unfortunately. I have no idea how to fix this. Hello. So I've been editing this vlog and I realized in that process that I never actually ended it, so I thought I would just pop on real quick and do a bit of an update. First of all, my hair turned out okay. It's a little bit like patchy and not exactly like even all over. The roots are a little bit of a different color. Freya really likes knocking stuff off of our dresser, especially in the middle of the night when she is angry and wants our attention. Anyway, my hair turned out fine, decent, good enough, whatever. It's been a few washes now since it is a few days later since I last filmed, but yeah, it's all right. And then update with the grant proposal that we submitted. We did submit it. We got that letter of recommendation finally, which was great, and I'm excited about it. We'll hear back probably next week about any like revisions, corrections that we have to make, and then we will have the opportunity to submit again once we've made those revisions, and then it'll go into like a final review process, and we will hear back about it in like mid-July, it seems. So fingers crossed that we get that grant. Other than that, I don't really have any other updates. I guess I didn't really film too much else or talk about too much else other than this grant proposal in this vlog, which means that next week I definitely need to go back to working on like dissertation stuff and stuff that is more directly related to my PhD. But that is for next week, maybe for another vlog. I think I'm planning to vlog more this summer, but we'll see if that actually happens. So anyway, I am in the process of doing my makeup because my partner has a work event that we might go to tonight. It's just like a cocktail party, but honestly, it's rainy out, it's gross out. I'd rather just stay in tonight, curl up on the couch. We've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. We're almost done our second playthrough. We're like at the very end, so might just do that tonight instead. Honestly, when given the option, I feel like these days I much prefer to stay in than going out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Need to use the nether stones on the crown. That is our fated path.
Is he part of the boss fight?
Yep. I know you. I know everything.